Okay, here we are the morning after our Matterhorn climb down in Slovenia. I used the Variant 28 on the climb. It's a perfect size. I could fit all my stuff in it I needed. I had my, down in the bottom I put my insulated puffball jacket, a couple other layers, Gore-Tex pants, Gore-Tex jacket. Then I had my crampons, food, crampons, a water bottle sideways, rope, helmet. I had a 40-meter rope, but it all fit in there. Had some spare gloves down below, a hat down below, lighter gloves up here, some food and snacks up here, some other sunscreen in the lower pocket, under the lid pocket. We used the pack hard for over 12-13 hours yesterday. So there's a few things I notice that I'd like to see to make it fit me a little better. It was perfect size. I think the shape is a little long and tall. When it's fully loaded, even it's a medium, and I'm 6'1", or even a 6'1.5", and it's very tall. My head hit the top when it was fully loaded, so I had less range of motion for my head. And it is so tall and narrow that it's really hard to pack well without bending like this. And so no matter how I packed it, even if I stuffed it full really tight, it would still bend, and then the middle part of the back wouldn't really touch. So it wasn't super comfortable because of that. Maybe an internal stay would help, a rigid plastic sheet, or a little one single metal stay that people could take out if they didn't want it. Let's see, another thing where the hip belts, didn't really feel it until after about 10 hours of climbing, but this part of the hip belt doesn't stretch. This part does stretch, so consequently I really just felt the hip belt cinching here and here, mainly on the bottom here, cutting into my hips and hurting. And I had a pretty big load in it, with all that stuff I mentioned, the rope, the crampons, ice axe on the outside, a bunch of food. We had a lot of extra food. We had brought up like 3 or 4 days of food. So I was really starting to feel it by the end. Just a minor thing, but when you're up on a very exposed place, if you drop anything, it's going to go. I'd flip the hood and unzip this pocket here to get something out. I'm holding the pack with one hand so I don't drop it thousands of feet down the Matterhorn. And this zipper allows everything to fall out this way. If the zipper was up here, when you flip the hood, then nothing would fall out. I guess you could argue that you could keep the hood upright, but that's a lot to handle when you're on a really precarious slope. You just flip the hood and you might be holding the pack with one hand and then needing to get something out of here. So I think the zipper on this end would really help alleviate things spilling out when you're in an exposed spot, when you're getting stuff from the underhood in an exposed spot. Other than that, I think I like the features, like the size, like the padding on the shoulders was excellent, the whole area around the shoulders. I'll talk later about what an ideal alpine pack for me would be. I think a lot of the Variant and the Mutant seem very much British packs, very much designed after the Caramore, long and tall and soft and narrow. But for a real Alps guides pack, for climbing, and you see what the Zermatt guides use, the Slovenia guides, the Chamonix guides, substantially different, and I'll talk about more about that later. But thanks so much, Osprey, for making really good quality stuff with super attention to detail. Those are just a few of the things that I could see that would help me make it more comfortable for me. Thanks for listening.